Okay, I think this video is being recorded. Somebody is requesting to join. So okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's class. To channel. Okay, so I'm speaking through here, so it's not coming up through here. Perfect. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's class. In today's class, we will be going over once again what we had started yesterday. I will just go ahead and present my screen and follow through where we had stopped yesterday. That is the social media engagement analysis tab, which is this. So I'll just go ahead and present this screen. Aha. So yesterday during our class, we talked about one of the projects on our project list. Um, I think I'll just present here first. Let me present this side first so that from then on we'll come back to this sheet. So yesterday we went through this. We talked about all of these projects and how to actually do them, and decided to talk about this particular project, which there was a consensus in the class yesterday. Everybody actually agreed that we should actually work with this particular course. So yesterday, so for this course, for this project, we agreed that, or rather, the goal was to analyze a social media data for a fictional rising Afrobeats artist to be able to identify which content drives the most engagement. Our insight is supposed to be used to create a data driven social media strategy to grow the audience of this particular artist and boost this artist's musical career. Based on that, we went further to deep dive into understanding what the Nigerian music industry looks like, the African Afrobeats industry looks like. And from then on, we were able to develop hypotheses, about 8 of them, just so that we can be able to walk through our analysis, being guided by those hypotheses that we have. We went through this entire project execution phases and what they meant. Somebody is seeking to join in. I don't think so. Yes. So we went over all of these project execution phases and talked about what the engagement looked like, what our results should look like, and the tools that we would use by the end of the day to be able to finalize our analysis. This is a debrief of what this particular project looked like. And after we've understood this, we decided to start with the first phase. With the first phase, what we did was, like I had mentioned, we started to do some groundwork trying to understand um, the context of Afrobeats music, trying to understand the how Nigerian music artists use social media, especially the most successful ones, and try to visualize how we will be able to put it to good use for the artists that we're doing this analysis for. So if I were to take us to here, so I'll just bring us back to this side, which now talks about, yes, yes, this one. And so far, based on all of the research points, we were able to build this Google Sheets file where we were supposed to do an analysis. We were able to generate about 8 hypotheses. We were able to develop some sheets that we agreed that we are going to bring up data from the posts that Rema has made and data from the posts that our own social media person has made. And we also built the profile of the artist, which is this. We said this artist's full name is Yakubu Ifelodu James, and his career nickname is Jax. He's a Nigerian and 26-year-old. Of course, given the name, he is male and he is from Ilorin city of Kwara. His highest level of education stops at a Bachelor of Arts in Economics. And a little history about him is that he was born in Ilorin. He's 26, just like I had mentioned, and he's an emerging artist in the music scene with 16 singles already released over and has about 100,000 people who have listened to his song on Spotify. Now, Jax is at the precipice of growing his musical career and reaching a wider audience for himself. In terms of his career, this is what it looks like. He stands at a pivotal moment. He's ready to propel his musical journey to unprecedented heights and to connect with a wider audience hungry for his unique sound and voice and vocals. In terms of the musical genre that he is doing, it is Afro beats based on the project that we have. He has so far released about 16 musics and has a total followership of what's happening in this group. He has a total followership of 12,500 and all of his social media handles, including about 2,000 from Instagram, 6,700 from Facebook, 1,200 from X, and 201 from YouTube, and 2,100 from TikTok, among others. So this is just a profiling of the artists that we're building this analysis for. We also built a brand color schema to say this is what our branding looks like, or this is what the branding of the artist looks like. And so when we're doing analysis, because we want it to resonate with the interests of this artist, we are trying as much as possible to ensure that um, we put into consideration the colors of interest for the artist. So when we're building an analysis dashboard, we are going to make sure these are the colors that we are going to use, more or less, a combination of these three. Yeah, so this is basically what we've been able to do yesterday. We did a lot of research using both a combination of AI and going through social media platforms just to have a better understanding of the data, the interface, the use of social media, the followership, the number of likes, and all of those things that the artists used to have. And from then on, we were able to generate these hypotheses. I think one of them that is interesting is the first hypothesis, which states that virality can be engineered, but it often relies on existing engagement. Artists who strategically use social media to build a foundation of high quality engagement and a devoted online community are better positioned to capitalize on and even engineer viral moments when they occur because they have established foundations to make this a success. So to do that, we are going to go to Rema's we are going to generate data from Rema's posts that he has made across multiple social media platforms and then use that as a basis to build an analysis for Jax, who is our own artist. So we'll build that of Rema, we'll build that of Jax, and we'll do some level of comparative analysis to be able to build out why Rema is successful, how he does his engagement and is able to maintain followership, and how Jax as well could actually be successful if he tries to replicate some of those learnings. So I will take a pause here. I've said quite a lot of things. Some people were not in the class yesterday, and some were in the class. However, I have not received any started project from any of those who were in the class yesterday. So I will take a pause to hear if there are any questions or any concerns or any needs for us to actually understand what might be the issue.
Start my own yesterday, but I would start up today. My
Okay.
system had issues, so I'm trying to get another one.
Okay. Okay, that's from Samuel. Umul Khair, you were not, were you? Yeah, you were actually in this class for the most part of it. Mariam, really expect her to say much. However, if you also have a comment, you can actually voice it out.
No comment.
I've not received your own project. Why?
Because I'm actually using my phone and it's a bit slow.
You were what?
I am using my phone.
To do what?
The project.
Why would you use your phone to do the project? Why would anyone use their mobile devices when they have a computer? If you do not have a computer, you are advised to come to Skilledesk. That's where there is access to. So please, in future classes, it will be difficult for us to go back to reviewing some steps past it by a number of days, especially for students who were in the class. For some students, we might repeat some of the classes they missed for them, and for them, it's easier for us to review what they have been able to do. If submissions come in late, we will not be able to review it. If we don't review it, you will then be left with your own understanding as to what you think works, even if there might be errors. Because if it comes days after we have finished that course, it's going to affect your own performance as a student. So please, as much as we understand that people are quite busy, it's important that they actually take out time to do some of this work as we invest a lot of time as well to try to review the work that they have done. Thank you. So I would move on to see how we can be able to generate data for REMA. Because of time, I would build out the data and put it up here. Yep. Raw data. 200 rows. Yeah. That should take a moment. Just put it into our database. Okay. Where is our data set? This is it. This is Rema. This is Jax. Okay. So I guess we'll start with Jax. I cannot find my mouse. Aha, found it. lend you for my computer.
Hello, we can't hear you.
Okay. This might be the shape. Decided to work, so I'll do the paste and see. And again, because we wouldn't work. No, this is for Rema. So here we are trying to break this data into um, Rema and Jax. Uh-huh. We have this for Jax. We'll do something ready. Where is the data? Okay, this is it. Okay. Okay, so that is done with, and we have both data sets complete with data from both of these team members. Okay, so now we have full data for both of them. This is 109 for Rema and for and for our artist Jax. So we have quite a number of data sets that we can conduct analysis with, which is something that we needed. So for our second phase, for our first phase, no, for actually for our second phase, we have data. We're supposed to understand the data, build it out with a post ID, the platform the post was made, the type of post that was made, the date of the post, the likes, the number of likes, the number of comments, and the number of shares and followers at the time of post. So if we go back to the data set, we have all of that data embedded entire data set, into our entire data. Here, phase two says that you'll be provided with a data set containing media posts. Your first task is to deeply understand data. So let's go back to that data. Looking at the data, that we just named them alphabetically. So there is from 1 to this is 17. I need to check. From 1 down to 200 posts that has been made over the course of the year. from September of 2024 down to um, September of 2025. As you can see, the entire year that's put in here. So it's the entire year that's actually put in here. If you can't see the screen, you'd have to go out and come in again, because from this end we're actually viewing the screen on multiple screens and we can see our own screen. So please go out and come back in. Thank you. So understanding this data means that we're able to see what these platforms are actually platforms that we know. We're able to see that this post ID has no duplicates and it makes sense. The platform that is being used here also makes sense. The post type is also brought out here. The likes for each of the posts, the number of likes, the number of comments, the shares for that post, and the followers at the time that this post was actually made. And we can use this to be able to predict or to even visualize the trajectory of some of these engagements. So one quick thing we can do from here is that we can even be able to build a okay, this is not Power BI, but we'll see if we'll be able to build this based on that. We'll be able to insert a chart here that gives us some idea of what the growth trajectory looked like for the WhatsApp channel. It started from here and then it grew over time based on the engagement. Followership actually grew over time. So this is just a simple chart and it's actually still depicting that growth based on engagements. So looking at this, we need to be sure there is no error somewhere. Everything is formatted as time, and each of these posts are actually saying one thing or the other. Yes, something like that. Comments, shares, and followers. We have all of those things here. So go back to Jax. We also do the same thing. Try to make sure everything is intact. About 200 posts. Not so much social media growth. Yeah, there is quite a number of growth as well, but not as much. And this is much more than I had wanted. So I'll probably reduce the number so that it meets our own needs. Who actually doesn't really have so much followers. Um, yes, what's wrong with the internet? Okay. So we go back again to our project to get to understand the next step is. And the next step is to create a data dictionary in Google Sheets to document each column, the data type, and provide a clear description for each of that. Again, we'll just briefly work on that. Um, uh, Sorry, my laptop is getting a bit slower and slower, so I have to close some tabs to make it a bit faster. Aha. So we have to create a dictionary in Google Sheets to document each column, the data type, and provide a thing. We just Move on to bring this so that you have a picture of what it should look like. You know, not over here. And then we'd create a tab. This tab is tagged as data, data information or description. And for this, I like reducing my columns to only things that I need at a given time. So I'll reduce this by some bits. Your data should be as clean as possible. And out here, I'm actually going to increase this a bit. If we don't do this now, we would forget and not do it later. So it's best we just put all of this in the right picture. I should use this. I think I'll use some of this should go into dashboarding. So I'll just pick this and use it for some of the tables like this. And then for this one, I will just put in these bars as separators. And then for this one, I'm going to go back to and pick this, and so that we have something like this. It starts to look like the brand that we are trying to represent slowly but steadily. So we have this, and I'll change the name for this, the the way this appears to Nunito, and move it to the middle. No, actually to this side. I'll drag this a little bit so that this is visible. And then we have this, something like this. So post ID is an integer. It's a unique numerical identifier for each of them. For each of a post that has been made, it has an identifier, which is the post ID. Post ID helps us know that a post is not a duplicate. So post IDs are supposed to be unique identifiers. Then there is the platform on which a post has been made, which is standing as a string. So a string is basically letters. Instagram is a letter, it's a word that explains the platform Instagram, more or less. And then the post type is the category of the type of the post that has been made. So there is video, there is reel, there is picture, and all of that. There is text. So that's what this means. Post type is actually a string as well. There is post date, which is the date that this particular post or a particular post was shared, which has year, month, date, hour, minutes, and seconds, so that a reference can always be made to them. And then there are likes, which involves integers, which is also an integer. And there are about there is a total the total number of likes or equivalent positive reactions to the post. This is how it would look like. It will just appear as numbers. And then there are comments, which is also an integer, shares also an integer, and followers at the time of post also serving as integers. So There are strings, there are booleans, there are integers, and all of that. When you go into programming, hopefully, when we start to do Python, we'll talk a lot more about those. But at the moment, we just focus on sheets that we are using. So for this, followers at the time of post would usually look like this. I didn't put any comma in between. So here in showing this information, I wouldn't put a comma. Now, what this helps you do is that whenever somebody is opening your data, sorry, this call is actually very, very important. Hello, sorry for the little distraction. Sorry, everyone. Okay, back to where we were. This this data information tab helps anybody who is coming to visualize your data understand what it is that you have done to the data and is able to make sense of that data and do whether or not you are there to guide them and all of that. So whenever they access your data to make sense of it, they're able to do analysis with or without you. That's the point, and it's actually very, very important. So moving back to our and the phase three is data cleaning and feature engineering and create new metrics to unlock deeper insights. This is where you transform basic data into powerful analytical tools. Very important. So the task we have here is to ensure that all numeric columns are correctly formatted, extract the day of week and hour of date, and the most important task is to create a new column called engagement rate using the formula likes plus comments plus shares divided by followers at the time of post times 100. Implement these transformations in Google Sheets, creating a clean, enriched data set for your analysis. I'll just make a copy of this and post onto our WhatsApp group so reference it in the course of our analysis. So something like this. And then we'll go back here I'll just post that on the group so that you can reference as I speak through that. Okay. Yep. Pasted. My network has become extremely slow. Please, not my network, my computer. Please bear with me. It's the size of recording video that has actually taken up that much space and storage. So, if we move on to our data, let's go to REMA first. That's the first data set we'll try to work with. The first thing we are told to do is to first do this, referring back to unlock deeper insights. So we'll just check if there are any duplicates, just like we used to. Go to data, data cleanup, remove duplicates. Data has header, remove duplicates. It will tell us if any duplicate is there. Those were found. All of them are unique. We say okay. We go ahead to check all of the other elements if there is anything that looks uncomfortable. What I would usually do is I delete extra rows that I do not need so that they do not shift my mouse upward for a long period of time. There is the post date that we are also trying to break. So we check raw data, like the unlock deeper instead, blah 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 blah. Ensure all numerical columns are correctly formatted. Yes. Let me see. Let me do this plus this plus. Actually, let me just do some. Let me do some of these guys. If you can add them, they are most likely correctly formatted. So yes, these are formatted as numbers, fault, but they are numbers. If I add them together, it gives me this. I can still, because I don't usually trust a lot of these things. What I would do, is someone trying to speak? If you raise your hand, I won't see you. You just go ahead and speak, and then we'll be able to go back to you. If you are not speaking, it's fine. We'll just continue. So select all of these rows, and Husaina is not paying attention. She's chatting somebody up. We won't go back again, just in case. So formats we're using, we'll go back. So we have numbers here. In our formatting, I don't want us to keep comma, so we would not keep comma. We'll do something like this. So it will maintain that same formatting, but we have ensured everything here is appearing as a number. And the next thing we are to do is to clean the no is to extract the day of week and the hour of day from the post date. So here I'm going to create a new column called day of week, and I'm going to create another one called hour of day, the hour of day. And then yes, I think these are the two columns we are asked to create. And for this one, I am going to do an equal to day. If I say day, I'm going to go back here and I'll select it. And then it's going to give me 22 because that is the day of that that is that particular event. However, it's not what I am looking for. I am looking for a text version of it. I'm looking for either Monday, Friday, Saturday, something like that. So how do I fix that? I go back and I say text. I put a text formula in front of my day. To people online, can you see this clearly? I'm doing some formulas. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, I've zoomed in. Oops. So, and it appears. It appears this meeting will disconnect. I didn't connect it to this email. It will disconnect in about 13 minutes. Once it's 5 minutes to the time, we'll disconnect to reconnect. In the next class, I'll change mail for which through which we have this meeting so that we'll be able to have 2 hours meeting uninterrupted. So in terms of day of the week, we put text in front like this, and then under format, we put our quotation mark, and then we put one of two things. If it is month we are looking for, is something else, but it is day of the week we are looking for, right? So formula, we just need the text formula. And when we use the text formula, we just go back and select it. And then under format, we do like this. And then we do uh, date is D. Day is D. So we do D, D, D. And yes, day for that particular year. So it gives us Sunday. We add another D, so it gives us the full, closes the bracket for us, and all we have Sunday. Confirm that the day is accurate. We can just open our calendars to actually check and confirm. So in 2024, the 22nd of September is which date? So let me go to 2024. And the 22nd of September in our formula has worked well. So I'm just going to double click on this, get down to the bottom for all of the other cells. In terms of hour of day, it's also very similar. We just do our text formula equal to text, oops, text formula, and then we do hour like this, hour, minutes, second. It didn't work. It didn't work because there is a formula we're supposed to put first. So, um, yeah, we'll pick up hour, would use this, and you can see it has given us the hour that it has happened. And we can go ahead and add in, if it's only hour we're looking for, it's going to give us this. We can stop at this. However, if we want the whole time, we would have to go a step further into breaking it into time, minutes, and all of that, because there's another formula that is minutes that's actually going to give us the minutes, and there's another one for like that, like that, like that. But we're only looking for hour of day, so we just pick up 18. There is 18, there is 24, there is all of that. And so we'll do this, and it's going to do. So this is 20 o'clock, this is 8, this is 6, this is 8, this is 7, this is 3 p.m., this is 12 p.m., like that, like that, like that. 00 should be 12 a.m., but it appears this guy at 12 a.m. All of the posts usually start from, I don't know, yeah, check to confirm. Well, I will just do randomly here, I'll do the mean of these numbers to see what the minimum is. The earliest a post have been made by this user is 10 a.m. And based on breakdown day of week and hour of day from the post date. Important task is to create a new column called engagement rate. And for this column, what we are trying to do, let me copy the screen so that we can be able to see that. Up here, aha. So we're trying to create an engagement rate column. So I'll just do that now. Engagement rate. And for this one, we're trying to use the formula likes plus comments plus share divided by followers at the time of post. So that's actually very simple. This is equal to the likes plus the plus comments plus shares. We haven't put in, yes, divide by, but we have to put in our this thing, our. However, we have to actually put in an additional bracket because it's mathematics. We have to follow mathematical rules. And times 100 times 100. And this is our engagement rate. So I scroll down, and this is supposedly percentage. Sorry, I did times divided by, no, I did times 100, which is why this is like this. So instead, I'm going to remove that 100 so that it was going to give me decimals, and then I'm going to use percentage instead. So percentage like this, so that we're able to see what the engagement rate looks like for all of the posts that he has made over time. This is going to enable us to do analysis of engagement rate per social media channels and per post that this particular user used to make. Yes. Implement these transformations in Google Sheets. So the action is to, yeah, implement these transformations into Google Sheets, creating a clean, enriched data set for our analysis. Now we've been able to implement that, and now I could already start to in how we will be able to implement some of these changes. So we'll drag this down so that we can continuously look at this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete this column, and then I'm going to leave this like this. You could see from here what this looks like. So for those online, please, this call will end in 10 minutes. Let's see. In 4 minutes. If it ends, just join back in via the same link, and then next class I would have been able to change our calendar invites to another email. That's actually the reason why yesterday we used a different invite than we usually used to. So do not leave the meeting yet. Wait. When it finishes, just join again, and then we'll continue from where we stop. Yeah. So this is phase 3. We've been able to build out this for Rema. We'll have to do that for Jax, but I'm not doing it in this session. We'll do for Rema so that we'll build out the analysis for Rema first. And then we'll move on to check what our phase 4 is saying. Now, we've been able to do this, and this, and I'm so excited to see we've actually done almost 50% of the work. And now we are left with doing engagement analysis and building an engagement dashboard, the most interesting part of this whole thing. So for this, we will analyze the